Welcome back to Page Farmstead. In the last video we got the logs and stumps off of our building site, and in this video we're going to start moving dirt. Thanks for watching. Well, it took some doing, but I got all of the big logs and stumps that I was trying to get off of the building site over here and into the brush pile. So the next thing to do is to begin prepping the site for the building. So I think what I need to do is get the topsoil off and then try to begin leveling the site out a little bit. So keep in mind, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just showing you what I'm up to. Well, I'm starting to make a little progress on this. I have never attempted something like this before, so it's been a big learning process for me just to figure out how to get this done. I'll take you for just a little walk around so you have an understanding of the project here. I'm standing at what will be more or less one of the building corners. And I know it's difficult to tell on camera, but this area is sloped down towards the field pretty significantly. And so what I'm doing is cutting in here a little bit and trying to drag some of the dirt down the hill to make a more or less level pad here to build on. I don't really have a system, but I'm just kind of moving dirt around and making do as I can. So this pad's going to be quite a bit bigger than the building, just so that I have plenty of room to work and maybe do some sloping and make sure that the building can be up high enough so we don't have any kind of water issues. So I think the building's going to be about 30 by 30. That's not set in stone. So once I get this flattened out, I'm going to bring in rock and I'll build up the pad that the building itself is actually going to be on. I don't know if you can tell here, but I would say that I've cut down 4 feet or something from where this was, and I probably have more to go. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work out. I'm going to keep going on this a little bit more, just trying to massage this in the best that I can. And once I get it kind of into shape and more or less flat to the eyeball, I'll bring out a laser and walk around and just see how I'm doing. This doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to be close with maybe just a little slope to the field just to deal with water. I can do the final leveling when I start to put stone down, which is what the building itself will sit on. So again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but I will get it as close as I can. Apologies again to any of you who are excavator operators or land design experts or civil engineers or anything else. As I said before, this is definitely not a how-to channel. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm making all this up as I'm going, and I'm just taking you along while I learn. So I hope you're excited to learn with me, because that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, let's get back in the machine and get to it. All right, well, I'm really pleased with the progress I've made here. I mean, I had no idea how this was going to go. Like I said, I've never tried anything like this before. And it's definitely not level and it's definitely not done, but I am making progress. And so I'm really excited about that. It looks like we have a pretty good storm rolling in. They're calling for another ½ inch of rain tonight, possibly. So hopefully everything I've done here doesn't wash away. I don't think it will. Well, good morning and welcome back. We got almost 3 inches of rain overnight last night, so the site is a bit of a mess. I don't think I'm going to be able to put the machine on it without just making an absolute mess of it today. So we'll see. Maybe the sun will come out. We're not predicted to get any rain today, and it is beautiful out here in a way. It is overcast. But it's a nice cool temperature and it's not too crazy humid yet. I'm sure that will change as the day goes on. So since I don't want to tear everything up with the machine this morning, I'm going to start out today and go around with the laser and just see how I'm looking. But I've gotten it pretty far along with the eyeball, so I want to go ahead and put the laser on it and just see exactly where I'm at. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm up here just above the site and I'm going to set up my laser here. But essentially this is a laser that will shoot out over the entire site, and you can walk along with a little laser receiver and it will tell you how far above or below the level laser you are. This laser that I have will self-level, so once I set the laser unit on top, it will find level on its own. So I don't have to get this perfect, but you want to get as close as you can. So this is the actual laser itself. So this part up here spins and it will spin around and just shoot a laser out as it spins. And this part, this unit will internally self-level. So once I set it up, it will find level on its own, and it'll shoot out a perfectly level laser plane. So I'm just firing this up to make sure that it's close enough to level for it to do its thing. And it looks like it's fired up and going. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on my hand, but so I think this is good to go. So this is the receiver device, and as you go around, once you're within range of the receiver, once the laser is hitting the receiver, it will tell you whether you're high or low relative to the laser. So that's how it finds level. So I'll attach this to a grade stick, which is basically a huge vertical ruler, and that's what I'll be walking around with to try to figure out exactly where everything is. So the last bit of setup that I have to do is just turning on the laser itself and then going out here onto the site and setting a base. So finding a spot and setting it up on the level so that I know exactly the sort of reference point. So I'm marked off there, and that's my reference now. So everything will be low from there. More than a foot. More like 14 inches. So really low. That's basically the same. So I mean, this is pretty good. What a dirty animal. What's that? 6? No, more. 8? You muddy old dog. You're never going inside again. Okay. Well, I feel like that gives me a pretty good idea. Oh! Well, walking around with the laser worked out. It's basically, as I suspected, it's high over here in this corner where the machine is, and it's still low down here in the low corner. Almost 10 inches different, so a decent amount of work to do still, but it is too muddy and soupy to even attempt to use the machine right now. I will make an absolute mess trying to do that. The sun's peeking out a little bit. I got all my marks made, and I think I'm just going to leave this for a few hours and see if it will dry up some. I have the machine for a couple more days. Hopefully I'll be able to use it to keep going on the leveling. I think this is getting pretty close to the point that my tractor would be able to complete what still needs to be done, but it would take much longer with the tractor than it would with this machine. So I'm really hoping that I'll be able to get back out here in this thing in the next few hours. We'll just have to see if the sun will come out and help dry up. So check back in with you soon. Thought I would just give you guys a quick little update on the newest flock here. They're settling in nicely. They seem to be really liking their new home. They're definitely a little bit wary of me still, but they'll get used to me. Our roosters that would have made the eggs that we hatched were Americana, a speckled Sussex, a black Australorp, and then one Egyptian Fayumi, which I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but there are definitely some one-off crossbreeds in here, some one-of-a-kind chickens. You just have a look at that fella, you know, or that guy. I mean, what is that chicken, you know? There were speckled Sussex hens in our coop at the same time, so that might be a purebred Sussex rooster right there. Certainly looks like it. As far as the chickens in here that we know about, that we bought, we've got New Hampshire Reds, which I think both of those are New Hampshires. We've got Buff Orpingtons. So, well, that's a Buff Orpington down there, sun lounging. And then I ordered more speckled Sussex. So some of these speckled Sussex hens, like this lady, are going to be mail ordered. Now it's possible that we also have some speckled Sussex, purebred speckled Sussex, from what we hatched, because we had hens and roosters. The floppy part on top of his head, that's called the comb. So one of the easiest ways to tell that you got roosters, especially at this age, is they develop a comb that's way more prominent and pronounced than most hens will. So for example, you can tell that's a hen. Almost no comb whatsoever. And you can tell that's almost certainly a rooster because he's got a pretty big comb already. Now it's not 100%. There are other good ways to tell. So this one has questionable comb, could go either way. If you look at these tail feathers, you see they're starting to really have some curl in them. They got that green color. That is definitely a rooster. The hens won't have that. They'll just have these straight feathers like that. That's the easiest ways to tell. It takes some time. Obviously, you can't tell that when they're really, really young. But as they get a little older, it becomes pretty obvious. So there's an example where the comb is really not telling you much, but the tail feathers start to tell you that that is a rooster. You can also tell, and it's pretty obvious on some of these that are a little more mature already, they'll get saddle feathers. They're very drapey. So that's these feathers here. They're thin, and they tend to be a bit more draped looking rather than a hen. A hen won't have any of that sort of decorative type saddle feathers. She'll just have feather coverage on the saddle area, but the roosters will have these real decorative looking feathers in that area, just at the base of the tail. Okay, well that's probably more than enough looking around and talking about chickens. I could do this all day, but I won't bore you guys with it anymore. Okay, last one. Look at this guy. What an interesting young man. No telling what that guy is, but very, very cool looking. It has cleared up a bit and the sun is out. It's almost 90 degrees probably, but this is just not drying out. So I'm gonna try my best to just get the machine off the pad and make as little mess as possible. Got a couple other things that I can do while I still have it, but unfortunately I don't think that this is gonna dry out before I have to turn the machine, before the machine gets picked up. So I think that might be all I get done on the pad with this machine, at least this time. It's so muddy out there right now. So tough break. I don't remember if I've mentioned it in this video, but I am using a new microphone, so I hope the audio quality is good. Well, it's too bad about all this rain. They were forecasting some when I reserved the machine, but nothing like the 3 inches of rain that we got. I might have gone ahead with it anyway, but it's a shame when you rent one of these machines to not have it running almost continuously while you've got it. Just get the most out of your rental. But I accomplished a lot. I accomplished a lot of stuff that I couldn't have otherwise accomplished, so definitely not a waste. I just wish it could have been even more. Well, I don't know if I said so, but those piles were the piles of topsoil that I took off the site. So I just wanted to get them dragged out, just so there weren't big piles sitting there. Much harder to manage those big piles with my tractor than it is with this excavator. Keep in mind, this is my first time even attempting something like this. I have a total of like 10 hours in this machine, or any machine like it, and I have, less than 30 hours in an excavator of any size. So nothing like just getting out there and doing it and trying. And I hope that you guys understand that that's what you're watching me do here, is figure it out as I go. I'm not claiming to be any good at this. I just promise you that I'm gonna give it a try. So let's see what else we can do with this machine. Well, unfortunately, the rain's starting back up. I can't believe how dry it's been and how much rain we've gotten in the last day. So I'm gonna take the machine and start cleaning it up. It's really unfortunate that it went this way with the weather. You know, you can't do anything about it, but you know, you just wish for the best when you have rented something like a piece of equipment like that. You really want to get your hours in and get as much done as you can. So I'm kind of disappointed. I don't know how you get several weeks of dry weather and then 3 inches of rain overnight. But I guess if I ever need rain, I just need to rent an excavator. Guaranteed to get it. Thanks a bunch for watching. We'll see you next time on Page Farmstead.